Welcome to another great edition of The Forum. I'm your host, Sheila Evans. Here on The Forum, we highlight interesting and important achievements, programs, and events within our school system and community. Today's show is no exception. We have an incredible lineup of guests. First, we'll talk with Stephanie Adams. She's one of the new Board of Education members here in New Hanover County. We'll spend a few minutes getting to know her and talk about the goals she has for the school system. Then we'll chat with Michelle Hafey from the Regional Science Olympiad. It's coming up soon at UNCW, and she'll share with us what's up and what's new this year. And finally, we'll talk to Denise Angevine, enrollment specialist for New Hanover County Schools, about kindergarten registration. It's an exciting edition of The Forum, and we'll get back right after this short break.
Global 3000, a DW production. Little things can have a huge impact throughout the world. The Globalization Magazine, Global 3000.
I am joined by Stephanie Adams. She's one of the New Hanover County Schools board members, and she's here to tell us a little bit about herself. So let's open with that, Stephanie. Tell us a little bit about you, your background, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. So I am an 11-year resident here in Wilmington, originally from the great state of Pennsylvania, and grew up outside of Philadelphia. So yes, that does make me an Eagles fan. This is a very disappointing year for us, but next year we'll get it back.
Well, there you go.
I am married to an amazing man, Scott Adams, and we have an incredible 7-year-old son whose name is Braden, who is in first grade in New Hanover County Schools. And he is a complete and total sports fanatic, so we spend a lot of time on the fields, and whether it's football, soccer, baseball, basketball, we've kind of done it all. Gotcha. And just on a personal note, love music. We do a lot of shows at Greenfield Lake Amphitheater as a family, and just love to have fun and really take advantage of this beautiful place that we live in with the beach and the parks, and just love being in Wilmington.
Very good. Yeah. Tell us about your career path, or what even made you want to run for school board.
So I always knew that I wanted to be a teacher growing up, and I went to college and then got into the classroom and did student teaching in an elementary school in Philadelphia. And at the time, I said, I love schools, but I don't think this is what is right for me. So I ended up finding my way into secondary high schools, and I was working with CTE Education, which is Career and Tech Ed. And I really believe in that workforce pipeline for our students and helping them connect the education they're receiving and the job that they're going to be able to ultimately do, because in my opinion, not every child needs to go to college.
Amen.
There are plenty of jobs out there that don't need a college degree. And so I worked in CTE Education for the school district of Philadelphia. Incredible experience. I got to meet just wonderful students that really have helped me see the world from a different place. That led me to work for Johns Hopkins University as an educational consultant and working with schools to help reform failing schools. And that's actually what brought me to North Carolina in 2007. So I've worked around the state in a lot of different districts: Duplin County, Hertford County, Cumberland County, Guilford County. And I decided when I came to North Carolina it was going to be a temporary thing, but then I fell in love. And fell in love with the state, but also fell in love with my husband. We moved to Wilmington many years ago, and I stayed within the school system's community college system. But a few years ago, I took the leap and I went corporate, and I went into adult corporate training. And I love it. I love having the opportunity to help someone do their job better than they have before and really understand their gaps. But I also miss that school component. After the 2016 election, I sat up and I said, you know what? I think that I can help make a difference in our schools. I bring a lot of experience to the table. I have a lot of passion for students and helping all of our students succeed. And I said, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. And it was an incredible experience. I worked with an amazing campaign team, and I'm extremely excited to serve the public and serve our schools, teachers, and students of New Hanover County.
Nice. Yeah. What kind of traits do you think a person needs to have to be successful in this role?
Absolutely have to be a collaborator. We have 7 board members that in order to get anything passed, you have to have a majority. So being able to have respectful dialogue with people that may not think the same way that you do,
Right.
it's incredibly important. If you dig in your heels and believe that this is the only way it can be, you're not going to get anything accomplished. So being able to work with other board members and hearing what they have to say, respecting what they have to say, and then sharing experiences to get to a place of compromise and making best choices for our students and schools.
Gotcha. So how have you familiarized yourself with students, schools, teachers?
So since I was elected to the board, I've been trying to get out to as many schools as possible. I've been visiting pop-ins, I've been invited to some reading days, which has just been incredible, and I've really enjoyed getting in to meet the teachers especially, and the students, and the stories that they're sharing with me. So trying to get around into the county as much as possible, and that's going to continue until I hit every single school and have met every single staff.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Tell me maybe some of the initiatives that you're passionate about.
As I mentioned before, CTE education is very much on my heart. I have so many students that maybe didn't know what they were going to do with their lives, and when they found that thing that sparked the passion and the interest, they said, wow, I didn't know that this math had to do with this, and I didn't understand why it was important that I had to read this. So CTE is a very important initiative for me. The other piece that I'm really passionate about is mental and behavioral health within our schools. School safety is not just about the physical school safety. It's about the mental capacity. So many of our students are struggling. Bullying is at an all-time high. It continues with social media when they go home. It's really important that all of our students have someone that they can talk to when they're going through something. So I'm going to vehemently be advocating for continued support of behavioral and mental health specialists, counselors within our schools.
Very good. Tell us maybe what you've learned over these first few months.
That our schools are phenomenal. We have the best staff, we have the best teachers, we have the best administration, and our kids are super fun and smart and learning every day. I think sometimes the school system gets portrayed in the media as there's a lot of bad things going on, because we do. We hear about the lockdowns, we hear about the scandals, we hear about what I have found walking into these buildings. There is so much good going on, and I wish we could hear more of that. And I encourage everyone to volunteer at your local school. Get in and hear the stories, not just where your child goes. Go someplace else, you know, and because all of our schools have something really great that they bring to the table, and I would like to see more of that.
Very good. Tell us something that you think no one knows about. Very few people know about you that we'd find interesting.
So I've got 2. I'm adopted.
Okay.
And was adopted as a child, as a baby. My parents got me after 6 weeks. And last year, for my 40th birthday, my mom had actually gotten me a 23andMe kit.
Okay.
Through that 23andMe kit, I actually found my birth parents.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a very exciting year in rediscovering who I am. The other would be that when I was 3 years old, I had a what they thought to be a malignant melanoma on my arm, and they were going to amputate my arm.
Whoa.
Come to find out, I was the youngest person at the time in the United States ever to have a melanoma. Turned out not to be melanoma, thank goodness, and they ended up being able to clear it out, and I have another arm. But
Nice.
yeah, so
Wow.
so 2
Wow.
very interesting little pieces.
There you go. Well, Stephanie, thanks so much for taking the time to come in here.
Thank you for
I'm
having
sure
me.
we will see you at all the schools.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll be back in a few minutes right after these messages. Good.
Your company can join these local businesses in offering students with disabilities the much-needed experience to compete in today's job market.
To see the kids every day come in and certainly have a sense of accomplishment and get to do a job well done, it's very enriching to not only the kids but also to all of us around here.
For young people with disabilities, participating in mentoring programs, job shadowing, and internships are great ways to make them stand out among other job applicants.
I'd say it's kind of a win-win. I mean, not only are you doing the right thing for the community and these kids, but you're also allowing them to grow and get the skills necessary to be successful in the future.
Internships serve as skill-building tools for students to obtain vital career development. If your business would like more information on how it can benefit from adding a student intern from New Hanover County Schools to its roster, please contact the Special Education Department now at 254-4445.
They're doing a fantastic job and we couldn't be happier.
I am joined by Michelle Hafey, and she is here to talk to us about Regional Science Olympiad to be held at UNCW. Michelle, for those that don't know, what is Science Olympiad?
So Science Olympiad is this rigorous academic event that takes place once a year. We have it at the UNCW campus, but it gives kids an opportunity to compete in 23 different events that are STEM related. They're hands-on, and they involve both the content and the process skills.
And they've been working on this stuff for a long time usually, right?
Oh yes, usually they begin right at the end of this tournament season. They will start working for next tournament season.
Oh, next year I want to try this event, something to that
Exactly.
effect.
Yes.
When is the event?
The event this year is going to be held on March the 2nd. It's on the UNCW campus. Most of our spectator events are going to be held in Trask Coliseum. There are some other events that happen throughout some of the other buildings. Those are not open to the public, but the spectator events are usually real popular.
And there's some stuff outside, isn't there? Or not this year?
Not this year.
Okay.
This year we're moving ping pong parachute inside.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
Okay, you can tell that I'm an older parent, that I was outside with some of those
Right.
events. What counties are taking place in?
So we have 5 counties that attend usually our regional. Bladen, we have Brunswick, Columbus, New Hanover, and Pender counties, although there are some teams occasionally that come from other areas.
About how many students would you guess?
I would say we're going to have over 1,000 students on our campus.
Coming to hang out and spend time with science, technology, engineering, and math.
Yes, it's a great day. Like a lot of people love to go to sporting events. This is kind of the sporting event for STEM.
Right. So what are some of the more popular events?
Well, a lot of times the engineering events seem to be very, very popular. Things like the mousetrap vehicle or the battery buggy. And I think a lot of that is just because of the anticipation of watching the performance and the actual tasks that they have to perform. However, if you ask anybody, they probably have their own favorite event, and is really super excited for the day to come.
Are there some that have been tried and true for the last decade? Or do they mix them up?
We do. We actually rotate events
Okay.
through with Science Olympiad. And we do this for the purpose of being able to touch on so many different types of disciplines. So a lot of times the rockets tend to be one that we see every year in some form or another, and we usually have some type of a building event, either like a bridge or,
Right.
yeah.
Gotcha. How about new events this year?
New events this year. Well, we've replaced some events. Boomaliever is now coming
yeah.
in. Sounds of Music has come back, so students are able to build their own instrument and tune that. We also have an event called Protein Modeling, and so students actually are going to have to build their own protein model and bring it to the event this year.
Now, is there still paper and pencil type events?
There are some paper and pencil type events, but even those events are a lot of times run in a station format, so there are some hands-on applications and interactions that take place.
Oh, very good. Why do you think Science Olympiad is so important for students?
I think Science Olympiad is so important because it gives them the opportunity to not just learn about these STEM-related fields, but they start working together as a team. They learn collaboration. They understand more process skills, critical thinking. They learn to persevere through adversity, which I think is something that they're going to need for the future.
And I would suspect that oftentimes they need to figure out how to get along.
Oh, yeah. It is. It's that whole dynamics. There's 18 people on a team. There's 23 different events that you have to compete in, and usually you can only send 2 people at a time into each event. And so it's figuring out who can work together and who can really do what's necessary to come home with the prize.
And speaking of prizes, what are prizes?
So we do give away medals for each of our events, and then at the end of the day, we look at overall scores, and there are trophies to be won. And then some of our teams will be advancing to the state competition in Raleigh.
Nice. And when does that take place?
That's going to take place at the end of April.
Okay. So they have about 6 weeks to get themselves ready to go.
They have a chance to, once our tournament is over, to then kind of regroup and forge forward.
Do you find it interesting to bring kids from all over the region together to take to states? Like they were competitors earlier, and now they're essentially, teammates, if you will.
Right, and I think that they do, the schools that are in our region, we do really kind of group together. And
Nice.
at the state level, we really do root each other on.
Sure, that'd be fun. What do you think is the hardest part of Science Olympiad?
I don't know. There is so much that's involved with Science Olympiad. There are so many different moving parts. But I think it's just getting in there and getting started, being able to come up with a plan. For coaches, not doing it themselves, but finding a lot of other people around them within their community and within their school that can help them with their teams.
Gotcha. And speaking of the community, they're oftentimes your judges.
Oh yes, we have volunteers from GE and Corning that come out every year to support us, UNCW faculty and staff members, some students. It couldn't be run without the volunteers.
Very nice. And the date is March 2nd, and is that just middle school and high school? Is there a separate elementary school day?
Yes, middle school and high school is the one for March the 2nd, but the 23rd of February, and we also have a second one in New Hanover County for elementary, the 16th of March. Both of those events will be at Ashley High School.
Oh, nice. Do you ever find the elementary school kids coming to watch the bigger kids, if you will?
Sometimes we do, because you see that they may be all in the same family.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you have a lot of coaches for middle and high school that go and actually volunteer for those elementary events, because the Elementary Science Olympiad has actually fed our BC tournaments over the past few years.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Anything else you'd like to share about it?
I just think it's just a wonderful program, and I really hope that if you haven't had a chance to see it, that you have a chance to see what it's all about.
So March 2nd, UNCW campus. About what time would we come to watch some things in Trask Coliseum?
So Trask Coliseum is going to have events going on all day, starting around 8:30, maybe up until about 3.
Okay, very good. Well, Michelle, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
It's moving fast ahead, and March will be here before you know it.
No kidding. Yes.
Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes right after these messages.
Get connected with your school system. Your School News covers news that matters for parents, guardians, and Greater New Hanover County. Stories about preparing students for success in a changing world. Stories where students are achievers.
Internship, we pretty much made a vehicle from spare parts, and at first we made it so it just moved, and then we made it so it was an electrical vehicle.
Stories of teaching where every child yearns to learn.
Today is all about STEAM. STEAM is kind of the key word to tying art into science, technology, engineering, and math.
Your School News brings viewers more than 8 hours of school news and information, reporting on what's happening in the district, what students are learning, how the school system operates, and beyond. Your School News, only on this channel.
I have Denise Angevine with me, and we are here to talk about enrollment for kindergarten. Woohoo! Fill us in. How old do you have to be when you register for kindergarten?
Students have to be 5 years old by August the 31st, 2019 to enter kindergarten.
And how about the dates and times for all this registration process?
We are going to register the class of 2032 beginning March the 4th through March the 15th. Now, we will register students right up until school begins, but we would like to have as many students come in during that time and get registered so we have a handle on how many we have and can be more prepared for them.
Sure. And where do parents go to register?
They will go to their district school that they are assigned based on their residence. We've got a map which is active online. You just want to make sure that you click on the 2019-2020 radio button, because we're actively running 2 maps right this moment.
Okay.
And type in your address and it tells you what school that you're districted for. You can also call my office, and my number is scrolling on the bottom, and we'll be happy to help you.
Okay. And big question, what documents do parents need to bring with them?
Yeah, that's a big one. So parents, the legal parent needs to do the registering, or the legal guardian.
Okay.
So they'll need to bring the child's original certified birth certificate, the child's immunization record, proof of residence, which we like either a current lease agreement or a property tax statement, and the legal parent or legal guardian's photo ID, and any custody documents if there are any.
Okay. And they also have to have a physical or a health assessment, right?
That is correct. Every student entering North Carolina Public Schools for the first time must have a health assessment, and you do not have to have that to register, but you must have it done before school begins. The school will give you that document to take to your physician.
Okay. Now we hear about choice schools, choice options. Is that something that's in place for kindergarten parents?
It is. If
Okay.
a parent would like to try for a year-round, one of our magnet schools, or just open choice to another traditional school, once they register for kindergarten, they can complete an application. Now, our year-round schools, we have two that serve New Hanover County, Eaton and Coddington.
Okay.
New Hanover County is split down the middle, and the north part of New Hanover County is zoned for Eaton, the southern part is zoned for Coddington, and I'd be happy to help them determine which one they're zoned for, because that information is not on the website.
Okay. And what do they do if they want to go to one of those schools?
Sure. So they register for kindergarten at their district school.
Okay.
Fill out one of the applications. All the schools have paper copies
Okay.
of our applications for Coddington, Eaton, the International School at Gregory,
Okay.
the Snipes Academy of Arts and Design, and Freeman School of Engineering.
Okay.
And that form can either be turned right back into the district school or directly to me, because they all end up in our office anyway.
And what happens after that?
Well, we put them in a database, and when the schools are ready to pull for their kindergarten class, we do a lottery for them. They tell us, the principal tells us how many they would like to have in the lottery pool, and we will do a lottery and pull how many they request.
Okay. And each school has the lottery. Do you always have, I guess, more people that want in than spaces available?
For some schools we do. Year-round is very popular, so
Sure.
we always have more applicants than we do spaces. The International School at Gregory is getting that way. We've had to do lotteries the past 2 years.
Okay.
Freeman and Snipes could use some more lottery applicants, so please visit those schools and see if it's something you're interested in.
And Freeman and Snipes are traditional schools.
They are both on year-round
Oh, they are?
calendars.
Okay.
Yes, it's a different year-round calendar than Coddington and Eaton.
Oh, really?
Yes, ma'am. We call it the Restart calendar. And if you look under the Parents tab,
Okay, I did
and
not know that.
yeah, look for calendars, you'll see that their calendar is listed separately. They start school before. A few weeks after year-round school, Coddington and Eaton do.
Oh, so closer to the traditional.
Yes, August 1 is the start day for Freeman and Snipes this year.
Okay. Okay. And Gregory, is that?
Gregory's a traditional calendar school.
Okay.
Which is a dual immersion school. I didn't mention that, but the children learn in English and Spanish.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I bet that is getting more popular.
It is very popular.
Cutoff dates for kindergarten.
Cutoff dates are, they have to be 5 by August the 31st.
Okay.
If a child misses the cutoff by just a few dates, they should contact their district school's principal. There is a state board policy for early admission to kindergarten, and that principal will give the parents the documents that are required, maybe go over the timeline with them, and again, if a parent has any questions, they can call me.
Is that based on space?
It is not.
Okay.
It is based on aptitude, achievement, letters of recommendation.
Okay.
When the state designed this policy, they're not looking for students who just missed the deadline. They're looking for students who are achieving or performing 2 to 3 years above their peers.
Gotcha.
So,
Very good.
yeah, it's pretty.
Okay, so
pretty regimented.
March 4th through the...
March the 4th through March the 15th.
Okay.
Get your documents gathered and go to your district school and get your student registered.
Great. Thank you, Denise. I'll be back in a few minutes right after these messages.
Start your day with New Hanover County Schools, the morning show. This Rise and Shine program will put a smile on your face and a spring in your step. Best of all, you'll start the day a little smarter, knowing more about our district leaders and teachers, discovering new frontiers in science and technology, and getting the latest school news from across the district. New Hanover County Schools, the morning show, educating all viewers to achieve today and tomorrow in a global community. Only on this channel.
We hope you've enjoyed our program today. Remember, the Regional Science Olympiad event is at UNCW March 2nd. If you want to learn more, visit uncw.edu. Also, to learn more about kindergarten registration, visit www.nhcs.net, or you can call 910-251-2929. Now, if you ever have any questions about any of the topics that we discussed on the show today, please call the school system's public relations office at 254-4106 or check out the school system's website at www.nhcs.net. I'm Sheila Evans. Thanks for joining me today.